there's nothing like that day that the box of books comes to your house and you see it like in actual print for the first time. It's just like, oh, before then it's on my computer and it's just like in a Word document, but then to actually see it is just like phenomenal, to see how it really took shape. So This Day in June is a children's picture book. It's intended for very young children, like around preschool age, I would say. And it's basically just a simple, whimsical, fun, rhyming story about an LGBT pride celebration. So it just has simple little rhyming couplets and very vibrant and colorful illustrations. At the end of the book, there's two sections that are more for adults. So there's the first section is a little blurb that refers to each two-page spread about LGBT history, LGBT culture, LGBT historical events to kind of anchor those experiences within the Pride celebration. And then at the very end of the book, there's a section for parents and caregivers about how to talk to children in age-appropriate ways about sexual orientation and gender identity. I really thought it was important to focus on this particular topic, first of all, because nobody had ever really written a picture book about Pride before, which surprised me when I got the idea and then started doing some research. I started digging around and then realized, wow, there's really nothing out here. I would have thought that somebody would have written something about this topic by then. But the other reason that I really wanted to write a book kind of in this particular genre is because even today in 2015, there's still so few picture books about LGBT families or LGBT culture. I mean, really, I can name almost all of the books that are out there. So it's a very small collection. It's growing, but there still aren't nearly enough books that kind of capture the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender experience for young kids. I really appreciated the conversation that we had, me with the students that were there, because I think, and I don't know, because I don't know what all their motivations were for choosing that event to go to, but I don't think most college-age students have children's literature or children's picture books kind of on the radar screen, because that's just not where the college mind is at. I mean, you're reading textbooks and higher level literary work, whatever, depending on whatever courses you're taking. And so, like for me, just to even engage in a conversation with adult students about the importance of children's books, and also how children's books can really touch the child within us. I mean, that adults can really respond to these books in a positive and affirming and in some cases a healing way. And I feel like it was an opportunity to kind of open up that range of possibilities for students. So for that, I'm really grateful. Well, so like I have kind of an intellectual answer and then a personal answer. I mean, the intellectual answer is that, they're awards of distinction, and, they're an indicator that they have some merit and they have some impact, and, that they're a high caliber of writing and that sort of thing. To me, especially this year, all of the American Library Association Youth Awards went to books focusing on some type of diversity. So every single one of those books featured a diverse theme or diverse character, whether it had to do with sexual orientation or ethnicity or culture or disability. And so to me, that's the bigger impact, that this is what people want and this is what people need. They want to see themselves reflected in children's books, and they also want to be able to learn from children's books and grow and develop a new understanding. And to me, that's really what the awards signify, is that they aren't just good on their own literary merit. It's not just that. It's more that they move us towards change. Like, they help us to grow and they help us to stretch. And that's really the meaning that I attribute to it. I think the big thing that I want people to take away from the book is that there's so many things about our community that people are afraid of, or they think that children should be shielded from. And while I'm not a fan of exposing children to extreme sexuality before they're prepared for it. I believe that things should be age appropriate, but kids see the world in such a different way. And so when they come to Pride, or they go to an LGBT event, they're not necessarily seeing it in the same way that adults are. So if they see somebody who's in drag, an adult might think, oh my goodness, I don't know if that's appropriate for a young child. A young child is like, ooh, wow, how pretty, or how sparkly, or look at that person in dress up. I mean, that's, kids just have a very different way of looking at the world. And I think that adults can really learn from that. If kids are coming in and they generally have an open mind, I tend to think that our minds tend to get more closed as we move along in life and get older, and kids can teach us the opposite. They can teach us to experience wonder and excitement and curiosity, and not necessarily imposing judgment, but just wanting to know, wanting to ask questions.